Well, hi again. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. You know, I told one of you, or two, or 100,000 of you, in the very first video that I did, how to make small little miniature masterpieces. And I started out by saying that you purchase Luan, which is a door front. It's just a small 1/8" piece of plywood, because that will fit inside of a photo frame. When you take the glass out, you can replace it with one of these paintings. Well, after painting 300 of these little paintings a year, and I would paint them one at a time, I decided it would be better if I line up 3 to 6 at a time and paint them all at the same time, so that within 3 hours, while I finish them individually, I can paint 6 before lunch. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Enjoy. All right, I usually put 6 together, but I'm going to work with just 3 this morning, and I decide on one theme. And today I'm going to use flowers, but if I were going to paint with all oceans, then it would be all oceans. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've already undertoned my wood in a gray and white acrylic. But I'm using oil painting this morning, and you can use oil over acrylic, not acrylic over oil. So I'm also using a palette knife, and I have no turpentine. So I'm going to start . I hope you're doing it with me. You might as well learn. This is in real time. I'm grabbing a little bit of a flesher tone. It's going to make it a different painting. And I'm going to grab a little blue, because I can sell each of these paintings when I frame them up. I can sell them to the same person. They will want a variety in their room. I usually paint it darker on one side and then lighter on the opposing side. If you notice, I don't have any turpentine. I really don't believe in using it. I use a little napkin and I clean my brushes with that. I don't want to smell it. I don't care for the odor of turpentine, and I don't need it. All right, for a minute I'm going to switch to a filbert brush. A filbert brush has the rounded top. I'm now going to grab white and use the color above it to work it into a tablecloth. The gray background will help me with shadows. It's fine if I get a little bit of this red tone. I can also soften the palette marks. Are you painting with me? I hope you are. You can even use Matboard. If you cannot you don't have a way of cutting Luan, then just go to Matboard. Anyway, the tablecloth is in most cases a white tone, but it doesn't have to be white all the way through, okay? All right, we do the third one. Notice it's picking up the top color, and also notice that I'm not cleaning off my brush. They all are beginning to look very different from each other, which is what I want. Now when I sell these, I exhibit them 33 per table, and I have 2 tables of these little paintings. So it makes 66 that I have showing in the exhibit, and people love to go through them. All right, now I'm going to go back to the palette knife, and I'm going to make the vases for these flowers. I pull down like this, turn the painting around, and bring up the other side, like that. That takes care of that vase. Here comes the next vase. Oh, that's a beautiful vase. Here comes the next vase. Lovely. Okay, now the base is rounded at the bottom, so I'm going to take a little bit of purple, a little bit of violet or rose and blue and white, and if you have a violet, that's fine, use your violet. Okay, and for just a little violet shadow, I will put a shadow underneath the vase, right here. Okay, that takes care of the shadows. Are you still with me? I hope you are. All right, now we're going to take the dark green. We will use dark green for the leaves that are closest to the rim of the vase. And I'm going to use the edge of my palette knife and very easily just dab. Dab, not hard, but I want to cover the rim of the vase, and I'm also going to make a little line that comes across like this that's going to have flowers at the base of the painting. And again, I'm just dabbing the color. All right, so we've got that. I go like this, a little bit of that. Okay, now I come up higher. A little bit higher, a little bit higher. A little higher again. Now I can do this process with oceans or whatever. It's just depends on what I'm thinking of on the particular morning that I start painting. All right. Now I get to decide how I'm going to make these, but I'm going to continue with the palette knife and make dabs for the flowers. Here, here, here. And I'm going to put them more or less in little groups so they look pretty. And I'm going to make flowers that match each other. Okay, that's going to do that. I think I'll have a couple red ones over here. Now most people like a full palette, so if they change their mind in their decor, they would be able to change, their picture would go with anything. So I'm just going to grab a variety of colors. And I kind of make smiles, upside down smiles, and that's what makes the flower. Now I want to have about 3 large flowers as I get towards the rim. Now you're wondering, these will never dry because the paint is so thick, but what I do is I put these on the dashboard of my car, and it's so hot when the sun shines through that the dashboard gets very hot, and then it works just fine. Okay, I'm going to add some bright red now. Now I want to add colors that blend nicely together. And also on the center of each one, particularly the white, I'm going to add a little bit of orange and a little bit of bright orange. So it makes them have a little center. And most flowers, they will have a little bit deeper tone on the edge of them, so that if it's red, it could have a darker shade on the edge, or even a lighter shade. Now normally I take a little bit longer than this, but to try to finish, to show you the idea within 6 minutes how to paint 3 paintings is a little bit tricky. But we are limited in our time here, so. All right, now as I go along, and they're all coming along, then I'm going to add on the bottom, I'm going to add some more little flowers like this, just to make it interesting, and a couple petals dropped over here too. The other thing is, all of the leaves wouldn't have all been that dark green, so some of them will have a little bit of lighter tone to them. And we also don't want to have every flower completely showing, because they would look like lollipops sitting there. So we need to put some green in front of some of those flowers. And when they're slightly hidden, it will make them look more natural. All right. Well, without going too much farther, I hope that this has given you a good idea of how quickly you can go through this. Now, sometimes I add little hash marks like this at the end just for fun, just because it spreads around some color. You can do that if you want. And there's other little finishing touches by adding little tiny flowers here and there. But anyway, you can have fun with it. I hope you have a good time playing with these small paintings. And when your passion is showing, the people will buy them 4 to 6 at a time. You're going to have fun. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.